7:45. Last month, I hosted a webinar called How to Use AI to Audit Your Homepage and Finally Know What to Fix. And it really was a blast. We had a lot of people attend, and the feedback was that people who used the prompts on their website caught a lot of great input and made some changes to their website for the better from what I shared. Today, I thought it would be fun to share that webinar with you on the podcast so that you can get a sense of what I was talking about and what some of the prompts are. If you want to watch instead of listen, I've also linked the YouTube live so you can watch it instead of listen or watch it after you listen. And if you're interested in getting the prompts that I share about in this episode, I've also linked them at the bottom. So don't feel like you have to pull over and write them down if you are driving in a car or doing something, as you probably are, as I always do when I listen to podcasts multitasking. So let's get into the episode. Welcome to Website Design Made Simple, the podcast for busy small business owners who want a high-performing website that converts and sells their offers, even while they're sleeping. Because you deserve to have a strategic and beautiful website that truly represents your brand and positions you as the expert that you are. I'm your host, Jenny B., web designer and creative director at Jenny B Designs, where we believe that your website is the one thing that makes you sales and builds your brand at the same time. Ready to say goodbye to a website that you're embarrassed to share? And hello to a money-making, personality-packed powerhouse? Let's head into today's episode. We are talking about AI and your homepage. And I want to help you because I know a lot of us have been using Chat and Claude and all the amazing tools that are available for us. And I want to be able to have you integrate those tools in a way that makes sense and works for you and your website and where you are today. So a quick introduction about me. I am Jenny B, and I have owned my web design studio for 13 years. I've been designing websites for 20 plus. I absolutely love doing this. It is my passion to help small business owners just like you design websites that work, that attract your ideal clients, that make you money, and that get people to do whatever you want them to do, call you, buy your thing, whatever you have available. Today, we are talking about your homepage. And your homepage has one job. In my mind, it is to make someone feel like they are in the right place. And it is important that small business owners get it right. Today, we're going to cover my 6-part homepage framework because I think that understanding this will then allow you to use the prompts that I'm going to share with you in the most effective way possible. And then we are going to do a live audit. So many of you shared your URLs for me to use in this demonstration. So I just picked one randomly, and we are going to open up a new browser at Chat and use my prompts and go through it. And I'm going to share with you kind of what goes through my mind when I use an AI tool to look at a homepage and kind of discuss that feedback, right? So let's get into the 6-part homepage framework. And I've been using the term money-making homepage for many, many years. It's kind of how I used to talk about it. But I actually have a 7-part homepage framework. And one of the parts pertains to design. And when it comes to using AI isn't the best at analyzing design per se. So we're going to talk about the other 6 parts that are equally as important for your homepage. The first part that I want to talk about is the hero section of your homepage. This is when someone lands on your homepage right above the fold, okay, before they have to scroll down the page any further. You want it to be immediately clear what you do, who it's for, how you help make someone's life better, and how they can take action, that call to action. And we want it to be very clear with an image alongside that hero section that demonstrates the benefits that you are offering to someone. Not demonstrating what you do, but the benefits of what you are offering your potential client. And I'm going to share with you, I've got 3 examples here to kind of illustrate what I'm talking about. The first example here is from a tour company that I designed. And her hero section says, make history fun for the whole family. Teacher-led sail and walking tours that kids actually enjoy and parents love too. It is abundantly clear that this is a walking history tour for the whole family, kids included, and it's run by a teacher and kids love it. And there's that call to action button, book my family tour. Okay. Very clear in that homepage, that hero section. And there's an image attached alongside of it with kids and the walking tour teacher. Very clear. When you land, you know what you're getting. My second example right here, this is a pool company, more time relaxing, less time stressing. Service professionals providing reliable pool and spa care for families across the North Shore. Super clear. You understand what you're getting. And the image that you see there are people relaxing in the pool. They are relaxing, less time stressing. So again, the hero section is very clear. And this is just another example. Mechanical systems designed deliberately, plumbing, heating, and gas systems thoughtfully installed, so you know exactly what's happening with the imagery attached. So this is the first piece of your homepage that is very, very important, that hero section. And we're going to refer to this section when I share the prompt for this section. Okay. The next part of your homepage is the navigation. This is essentially the roadmap for your website. It is also the most common mistakes that I see, and one of the most useful ways to use AI when it comes to your website. I can't even tell you the amount of times I've been when I chatted with AI to talk about navigation. Oh, I didn't think about that. So it's really helpful in using AI when it comes to this. Your top navigation, I like to limit it to as few options as possible because we only want people to do what we want them to do. We don't want to distract them with all the things. I typically say 5 or less in the top navigation. Usually for service providers, it's about services, contact. If you have resources, maybe a blog or a podcast. If you have multiple resources, drop down under resources, right? Consolidation up at the top. If you have home in the top navigation, that's something that doesn't need to be there, because if you click the logo, it will be taken back to home. So I always try to remove whatever is not necessary in the top navigation. And also think about that navigation in terms of someone who is coming to you, going to your site. What do you want them to know? What do we want them to do? How do we encourage them to take that action? A quick example right here for you is a photographer that I work with. Up at the top, if you can see her navigation, she has 3 options: the experience, the portfolio, about, and blog. And then that button in the upper right-hand corner, book now. That's the action that we want people to take. Same goes for this copywriter that I work together. Podcast, about, Kate, contact. Very, very simple menu. What do we want people to do? We want people to get started at Coca Cola. So keeping it nice and clean. So that is number 2. Okay, here, upper navigation. Number 3 is services on your homepage. And this is where I see a lot of small businesses owners kind of lose it when it comes to their homepage. Sometimes we describe our services in language that makes sense to us, but not necessarily to a client coming to you or to the outside population. And a first-time visitor, when they land on your homepage, we want the language to be super clear and pertain to them so that they know what you're actually offering to them and what you're offering can make a difference in their lives. This is an example of a homepage for that plumbing and heating services. And they have the different services there and what is the benefit or why they would need a specific service under each service category. This is for a longevity coach. I'm just going to read this to you. She has an ebook for sale, right? And so under the ebook option, it says, get all your health span, longevity, and hallmark of aging interventions in one large bundle. Like telling people exactly what is that ebook? What is the service that I'm offering? We're really clear on that homepage, in that homepage section. That is number 3 that we're going to use for our prompt. Number 4 is a mini about page on the homepage. I can't even tell you the amount of times I go to someone's website and there's no about on the, and more specifically, sometimes they don't even have an image of themselves or who's behind the business in the hero section. So on that homepage, I have no idea who is behind the business. I think it is so important to make that human connection on your homepage to have a mini about section that's not your LinkedIn bio, that doesn't just list off your credentials, but it makes the page feel personal. It introduces you to that visitor and it shares who's behind the business and your why. why you have this business. What are you trying to help people with? And an image of you or your team if you have a large team. Or if you're hesitant to do that, and maybe you have a physical location, a photo of your physical space. It is important to show up and share who is behind this business. So that is the fourth thing on your homepage that we want to appear. And some examples is back to that, the Salem leader. This is who she is. She has a picture of her with all the kids about her tours and a little next to her explain who she is. And this is for a park planning guide and has a picture of her with Goofy because this is what she does. And a little explanation of who she is, just short and brief, why she wants to help someone. Number 5 that we want to see on the homepage is social proof. This can be in the form of testimonials, reviews, logos. If you work with logos, companies that are recognized, maybe you've been featured in podcasts or featured on other people's websites, whatever form it takes, maybe you have credentials, you want to let other people speak on your behalf. And that makes you more credible and it has an authenticity to your website. In terms of your testimonials, if that is your form of social proof, we want to think about what are you saying? What testimonials are you sharing? Are you sharing testimonials that say, like, Jenny was super nice? Or are you sharing testimonials that say, within 24 hours, I had 3 contact form submission on my new website? Are we sharing facts and stats that really back up the offer that you're trying to sell? Think about that when it comes to your website on the homepage and the social proof. A few examples of this is for the tour guide. She has videos. Videos are so powerful. If you have videos and integrating them into your homepage, you can let people speak on your behalf. This is an example of embedding Google reviews. If you get a lot of Google reviews, and I hope that you are, because that also helps build up your profile and helps Google understand who you are and what you do. You can embed those directly on your website, or you can grab them. You can take the copy from those testimonials on Google and add them to your website. And you can also, instead of doing word for word, if they have a sentence that has a big impact, maybe you just use a symbol for that. Thinking about what are the testimonials and are they showing the transformation that you can make for someone. Okay. And then number 6 would be calls to action. And this is critical for your homepage. We want someone to take the next step with you. What do we want someone to do when they come to your website? For a lot of us service providers, we want them to book a call with us. Or maybe we have a membership, we're selling a membership, we're selling a product, we're selling something they can buy. What do we want people to do? Those are the calls to action that you want on your website. And I like to say at least every other section should have a call to action. And that will be in the form of a button. The words on the calls to action also matter. We don't just want like click here, start now. We want to be as specific as possible. Book a free call. Learn more doesn't really tell people what they're going to get when they click. Or sign up for my free newsletter. Whatever your primary call to action is, we need to make sure that all avenues and calls to action on the homepage are leading to that action. This is zoomed out from that pool site, but this is their homepage. Their calls to action are in yellow, and you can see them all over the homepage. It is actually probably in every single section on this website. Similarly to this one, the calls to action are in gold. It's in every single section. Think about your homepage. Do you have calls to action leading people to wherever you want them to go? All right. So those were my 6 sections, my 6 frameworks. The hero section, the navigation, including sections on your homepage, the mini about, social proof, and calls to action. And we're going to put it all to work with the help of ChatGPT. I want to share with you before we go right into it how I use AI. I think of AI as a thought partner. It is so helpful to me to have an outside set of eyes, someone to workshop things with. They just kind of look at it. I just looked at things and gives you feedback. And it's really helpful. But I also understand that everything they say isn't going to be right. And it's important to take what they say and then think about it and try to understand, where are they coming from? And ask questions and go back and forth. And that is where I find the best result. Not just asking a question and then taking what they give me, but really going back and forth and workshopping it. And I think I mentioned this earlier, but AI is difficult when it comes to design. The prompts that I'm going to give you, you basically just put in your URL for your website and it's going to give you back feedback. But if you put your URL into AI, it can't really look at the design and give you feedback on the design. What you can do is take a screenshot of your homepage, like a long screenshot, and put it in AI, and then it can give you a little bit of feedback. But I still find that there's no better feedback than someone who knows design to give you a good understanding of what's happening on that component. But everything else, I think these prompts are really helpful to get that on your homepage. I built something free for you and I want to tell you about it. It's a bot and it's called the Homepage Clarity Check. What happens is you drop your website URL into the bot, it reviews your homepage the way a website strategist would, like me, and it tells you what a new visitor actually sees, what's working, and what to fix first. You can find it at jennybdesigns.com or click the link in the show notes. Now back to the episode. Okay, so I shared with you, we want to be really specific. So let's start at the top. Let me see. I'm going to give you, and you're all going to get an email in your inbox with these prompts. Let's go to the first prompt and let me see. We're going to use, I have 2 sites that we can chat about. The first site that I have is reachmagicdestinations.com. So I don't know. Okay, I see Allison is here. I don't know if someone from Reach for Magic Destinations is here. Let me stop sharing and see how I do it. Let me stop sharing here and then share my chat. I'm going to share my whole window with you. Let's go to here. So we have this website and then we have my prompt. So here I'm sharing mode. So this is my prompt. And you can screenshot these if you want them immediately, but I am going to, Denise, she's here. Okay, she owns the website that we're going to go over. Fantastic. Okay, so you can screenshot this if you want the prompt immediately. You are going to get them in your inbox. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this prompt right here, and I'm going to go over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to also grab the homepage for Reach for the magicdestinations.com. And I'm going to share my homepage URL. And the prompt says, I want to act as a potential client who's never heard of me. Read the hero section at the very top of the page and tell me, can you clearly understand what I do? Do you understand how it helps you? Do you know what to do next? Then tell me what is working and what is missing. All right, so let's go here and let us do this little thing here. Okay. So it says, yes, as a brand new visitor, I mostly understand what you do from the hero section. You're a travel agency or travel planning company that helps people plan meaningful vacation. Reach for the Magic Destination helps travelers reconnect, celebrate, and create meaningful memories through travel. Can I clearly understand what you do? Mostly, yes. I understand that you help people plan vacation. The phrase help travelers reconnect, celebrate, and create meaningful memories through travel is warm and emotionally clear. I agree. What is slightly missing is the practical clarity. As a first-time visitor, I would understand the feeling, which I agree, I understand the feeling, but I may still wonder, are you a travel agency? Do you book the trip for me? Do you specialize in Disney, cruises, all-inclusives, all travel? Is this a full-service vacation planning? The clarity does appear lower on the page when it talks about what you specialize down below. Let me top over to this. So when it talks about down below what you do. But it's almost there. And I actually find that this happens a lot for travel agencies because there are travel agencies that specialize in different things. But it is important that when someone lands to know exactly what you do. So your hero section, I agree, does a great job of selling why behind the travel, like reconnection, celebration, togetherness. But How it helps someone like me could be a little bit more specific. Like, I probably want to know, you probably save me time, you help me choose the right destination, handle the details. So right now it says, we help you create meaningful memories. I would also make it say, we help you plan the right trip without the stress of figuring it out alone. Let me go down a little bit more. Yeah, I would. So it shares with something, and I agree with it. It's got the emotional connection. I want it a little bit more specific. Up at the top, and we're just talking about this hero section. So, like, we help families, couples, and groups plan Disney Universal cruise and all-inclusive vacations with less stress, more support, and more room to enjoy the people who matter most. The difference between this and what you have now, okay, is similar but more specific. We've got the emotional up at the top, and you are sharing it's through family, friends, and someone special. But this example that it's sharing is a little bit more specific. Like, what do you do? We plan Disney, Universal, cruise, and all inclusive vacations. Less stress, more support. And again, this isn't just the start. Like, I want you to workshop it. But the intention behind this, as it's reading your hero section, is to get a little bit more clear how you help someone specifically. Okay. I want you to keep that emotional connection in that hero section, but be a little bit more specific. How do you do that? I hope that's making sense to you. And your call to action, you have a call to action in the hero section to start your vacation conversation. That's really good. Okay. You have that button. But maybe we can get this a little bit tighter. Like, a little bit tighter about what you do so that when someone lands, they are immediately clear. And I also like to see up 2 lines instead of you have a little bit more of text here. Can we shorten it up so it's short and sweet and people like get it right away? Right. So that is the first prompt for the homepage. Now the navigation. This is where I love using AI. So it says, please review the menu items on this website. I want to review this like a UX consultant. Is there anything here that confuse a first-time visitor? Are there items that could be combined, moved to the footer, or removed entirely? The primary goal for this website is, and it is to book a call. I'm going to just fix this, book a call. Or fill out inquiry form. I think they probably go to the same thing. Does this navigation support the goal? And then let's have it do its thinking. Okay. Right now, the navigation has some strong pieces, but it's too full for the first-time visitor. And I actually agree that there's a lot going on. So right now, you've got the home, about us with lots of different drop-downs, meet our team, destinations and experiences, plan your trip, log and inspiration. Does it support the goal? It does, but it could support it more strongly. Now, the best news is that up in the right-hand corner, start your vacation conversation. That is what we want people to do on your website, and that is important to have in your upper right-hand corner, and you have that. So it's good. That's good. Now, thinking about the first-time visitor, the navigation should answer, what do you plan? Can I trust you? How does it work? How does it start? You have all that information, but I agree. There's a little bit too much going on up at the top. The first confusing item is plan your trip. I would expect plan your trip to be the main path to start planning. I actually would do too. But if you go over here, we've got under the drop-down plan your trip, start your vacation conversation, which I think is get started. Then we've got vacation payment, requests, services, travel insurance, FAQs, travel inspiration, share your story. So it looks to me like it's a mix of people who are current clients that they have to pay. They want travel insurance, FAQs. Like, you got a lot going on in plan your trip. Right. And newsletter describe it. So maybe they shouldn't live in the primary drop-down if the goal of your website is to have someone inquire. And another confusing area is about us, because it includes trust building pages like location, contact policies, and it makes it feel like a catch-all instead of a clear destination. So we've got kind words, policies, awards, contact, join the team. We've got a lot going on over there too. So and now you're saying I would remove home from the navigation. I would too. But right now, when I click your logo, can't get to the homepage. So if you can fix that, I would say remove your homepage option. And then about the agency, kind words, awards, and recognition. I agree. I would like to remove policies and commitments to the footer because the footer is there on every single page. So people tend to forget about the footer is part of real estate as well, but it's for those secondary items that don't matter as much to the first time visitor. We don't want someone who's coming to us for the first time to read the policies and commitments. That's probably more for someone who is going to be working with us, right? The contact could probably be out or it could live in the footer as well. Join the team, that's also something that can go in the footer. Unless it is a primary goal of your website to get more team members, I agree. I think that can live in the footer. Now, this is saying I would rename destinations and experience to something simpler like vacation types or where we plan. Okay, you can take it or leave it, like see what you think to make it a little bit more simple. And I will restructure plan your trip because it's doing too many jobs. I agree with that. So what they're saying is vacation types, or you could do destinations. I'm not sure I like the word vacation types, but maybe you understand like where this is going. Have drop down Disney destination, Universal, all-inclusive vacations, other destinations. Then services, this can explain how planning works, what client gets, and why working with an advisor helps. I think this is really important, and I am not sure if I see that on your current site. Do I? Maybe you have it, but I would really like to see under planning your trip or services, like how does it work? Like, do I have to pay for anything? What happens when I reach out? Like, how does the planning process work? I think that would be make it a little bit more understandable for the first time person when they come. And then about us, meet the team, kind words, FAQs. Now, it asks us to have FAQs at the top. Oh, okay. So I'm hearing Denise says the services section is not strong. It's a section I've struggled with putting together. Yeah, think about the services in terms of someone's the first time visitor. AI is saying put FAQs up in the top. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think FAQs should be down in the footer. People, first time visitors, don't need to come to your website and then read the FAQs. You don't want them going there immediately. It's something that they would go to after they've viewed your site for a little bit. So I actually would put FAQs down in the footer, but then having blog and start your vacation conversation. So move to the footer, policies and commitments, award and recognition, contacting the team. Yeah, maybe at the footer, you could have a whole section for current clients where they can make vacation payment requests, travel insurance, like all these things that they're going to need once they become your client. The biggest US issue, current venue feels like it's trying to serve new clients, current clients. I agree, like everything at once. The top navigation should be for the first time visitors, and you can use the footer for your clients that are coming back to the site. And I would start your vacation conversation and then relocate everything. Yeah. So what we're hearing is that there's a lot going on in the top navigation, simplifying. And if you're using AI, like we just did with Denise's website, go back and forth, like ask it follow-up questions. Like maybe you want to have people, you're trying to find people to join your team. Maybe careers is a priority for you. Then say, well, careers is actually a priority for me. Where should that appear? Should it appear in the top or should I move to the footer? Like have a conversation, go back and forth. Don't just take what it shares and accept it as true. Go back and forth and ask questions. But I will say, like, it comes up with some really good ideas. Right? So let's see. Let's go to number 3. And number 3 prompt is, I want you to read this as my ideal client, someone who is, I'm going to just describe their idea, like planning a trip with family or friends and wants help. That's really basic. I want you to be a little bit more specific when you're using these prompts to get really clear on who your ideal client is. Well, let's just see, can you clearly understand what I offer, what it's for, anything I could rewrite to make it easier? Let's go there. Stuart, did you share the URL in ChatGPT? No, I shared the URL. So this is all based with sharing your URL right in ChatGPT. You do not have to use screenshots. The only time you might use screenshots if you ask for design help because it can't see design through URL. So it makes it really easy to just pop the URL. All right, so reading this as someone planning a trip with family or friends, I can understand the offer, but I think the homepage should make the services piece more direct. All right, so it says vacation is more than a destination, and then moves into what makes us different. It says the team specializes in Disney, Universal, cruise, and all-inclusive, with other select destinations available. Clinic clearly understand what you offer, mostly yes, and I agree. I understand it helps people plan vacations, families, couples, friend groups, multi-generation, LGBTQ plus travelers with accessibility needs. That part is strong, but because I feel it's inclusive and people focused. What could be clearer is the actual service. Right now, I understand the feeling of what you offer, but I have to work a little harder to understand the practical offer. And you know what? This kind of relates back to the hero section too, because we are getting the emotional, we are like feeling it, but we want a little bit more specifics. Do you help me choose where to go? Do you give me options? Do you book it? Do I pay you a fee? And those details are better explained on the services page, but on the home page, practical clarity is softer. So again, like emotional, but not quite practicality. Right now, the homepage says, we help you create meaningful memories. We help you make decisions, manage with details, and feel excited instead of overwhelmed. That is a bridge between emotional benefit and practical. So what could be tightened? Destinations and experiences sound pretty, but it is broad. Explore our planning services clear enough, but the surrounding section does not fully preview the services. So let's go over it, Joanne. Explore our planning services, which I think right here. Okay, so it's just a button right here, and then the explore destinations and experiences. All right, yeah. So this is what it's saying. This section right here is like basically you could call it your services section, and you are like you're putting people there. Like a carefree girl's getaway where laughter comes easy, and the only thing to do is your to-do list is joy. Like I love that. I think what AI is saying is that maybe we could add a little bit more about specifically what you offer. Um, explore planning services, additional destinations. So where it's working, clear, skimmable snapshot on the homepage. Maybe you could add something like, we help you choose the right destination, resort, or cruise or vacation package for your group. We narrow down the booking options so you're not stuck. We handle the booking details. We guide you through transportation. We stay available to support. Maybe you can add a section that is just that. And you can sometimes they do this like an icon, how you help someone. And someone feels it and then they understand what you offer and then they can click to learn more. One thing I would write at Reach for the Magic Destinations, we create personalized travel experiences that reflect your story, your values, and the people who matter most. At Reach for the Magic Destinations, we help families, couples, and groups plan Disney, Universal, cruise, and all-inclusive vacations without getting buried in research, decisions, and details. From choosing the right fit to booking reminders and trip, our advisors make the process feel easier, more personal, and more joyful. Yeah, it's like the marrying of the emotional and the specifics, like a little bit more specificity about exactly what you offer on the homepage. Right? So that is how I would probably summarize that one. The about. Let's pop in prompt number 4. Please find the about section on my homepage. Does this feel personal and warm? Does it read like the LinkedIn bio? Is there a photo of me? Assume the photo matters. So here we go. And it's reading. The about style feels warm and personal. Now, I know that, Denise, you don't have an about section specifically on your homepage, but you have this what makes us different. And I do love this section right here. And that they found that. Okay, does it make it feel personal and warm? Yes. Phrases like your story, your values, and the people who matter most. Like, if I can say one thing, I'm getting that emotional connection from your homepage. It's warm. Maybe you can add a photo of you or the team alongside there, and it could accompany that section. Or let's just see what's working, the warmth, what's missing. Yeah, a photo of you or the team, a short why we do this. Maybe an introduction of you behind the company, like why you have this company or why you and your team do what you do, and an image. I think that would make that section even more emotionally connected with the audience. Adding a little picture of you or the team with a quick introduction of you as the founder or introducing the team. And that would help people kind of bridge that gap. And I would say a call to action button. And I'm jumping ahead because it's a sixth prompt, but you can add that to this section right there too. Right? Social proof. Please review the social proof on this homepage. Do the testimonials feel specific and believable, or are they generic? If I have no testimonials, what do you recommend? Let's see what it says. Okay. I don't see any traditional testimonial social proof. Okay, now, here's something that I cannot see before I go in more. Hi, Jenny, a question. Does Google AI search results? Okay, I'll answer that after I go through this. Okay, so it says, I don't see a traditional testimonial social proof section on the homepage right now. Let's go over to the homepage. There's one right there. It is an embed from Google. I think it's from Google reviews, okay? It can't read that. For some reason, it has a hard time picking up the embeds from Google. All right, so before I read this, I'm going to go back and say I have Google reviews embedded on the site. Can you see them? Because again, like read the thing, ask a question, and see what AI says. Embeds often show up as text only. I can't see them. All right. So I'll revise my earlier feedback slightly. Okay, so it says your reviews are not coming in. Okay, so a clarity, I would recommend adding a short, normal-based testimonial section or pouring 2 to 3 review experts directly onto the page of regular text. That way, even if Google widget doesn't load, the visitor sees simple proof. Okay, so I'm going to take this with a grain of salt because I kind of agree and I kind of don't. Travelers trust us with trips that matter most, and then add Google reviews with first name, trip type, and a link to read more. I think that what you have, first of all, let me say, I think that first of all, embedding Google reviews on your homepage is great. It is important. It helps with Google, like to connect your website to the Google business profile. So I think this is absolutely fine. If you want to take it a step further, you can add another testimonial. And when I add testimonials in addition to the Google reviews, I like to make it specific. So maybe you have a case study or a blog post about a trip, or if there's a trip that you do often and you've had someone go on it, if there could be an image, a testimonial, and then talking about the specific service with the specific verbiage on the homepage, sure, then I would say that it's worth adding. But honestly, if you have Google reviews on the homepage, I think you have that covered. I wouldn't put any more effort unless it's like one of the top things on your list to do. So for this, I think you're good to go. And then finally, let's go to this one, calls to action. And this is an important one. And it finds a lot that I miss a lot of times. So I wanted to act as a conversion consultant, review my homepage for calls to action. Tell me how many calls to action are there? Are they pointing to the same goal? Are they pulling visitors in different directions? Is the language on the button clear and action-oriented? Let's go with that. Okay. The homepage has a primary call to action, but there are too many secondary calls to action competing with it. How many calls to action are there? 4 on the homepage. Start your vacation conversation, explore destinations and experiences, explore our planning services, travel awaits. This is your newsletter. Okay. Are they all pointing to the same goal? Not exactly. The strongest goal is clearly start your vacation conversation, which is cute. It tells people what's going to happen. That's your primary goal. And then you have some secondary actions to learn more, to fill out an inquiry form. The bigger issue is that the site is trying to serve multiple audiences at once. New travelers have to inquire, current clients need to make payments, past clients may want to share a story, potential advisors may want to join the team, browsers. So it says, is the language action-oriented? Yes, mostly, and I agree. Explore destinations experiences is clear, but it's more of a browsing call to action than a conversion call to action. Explore our planning service is also clear. Travel awaits is warm, but it's less direct. So right now, it's saying what is working. It's warm and specific. What is missing? Now, visitors should always know the main thing to do is start a vacation conversation. Okay, so this is interesting. This is suggesting that maybe you add, and I actually have done this on my website a couple of times, add expectation setting near the call to action. Start your vacation conversation. Tell us what you're dreaming about, and we'll match you with the right advisor to help you plan. It's an interesting idea. I don't know if I could put it on our to-do list right away. It's saying, the other call to action is softer supporting links. So I would use, yeah, I agree with this. So the primary button would be start your vacation conversation, like getting people to fill out that form. The secondary links would be explore vacation types and see how planning works. I think that language kind of goes along with if you're reworking your navigation to be a little bit more clearer. That might be a complementary to that. So see how planning works. Because right now you have explore our planning services. See how planning works. I mean, like, it's a little bit more direct. It's a little bit more clear about what's going to happen. Explore destinations and experiences. Start your vacation. Explore vacation types. I think that it could go either way. I like the gentleness of what you have there, but I think it could be a little bit more specific and a little bit more first-time visitor related in driving people to get to that page. Because when we click Explore Our Planning Services, it goes to the nation. Does it go to the same place, actually? Oh, it does. It does. So it goes to the same place, right? So I would make it a singular and have it be that secondary, just one secondary. See how planning works, or explore how vacations work, or explore how we could help you with your vacation. Something singular. And make sure that you have start your vacation conversation as your main call to action. So travel inspiration awaits. Well, this is your newsletter, right? So I would move it down a little bit more. This is just me personally. But I agree, like it's kind of like you've got multiple things happening. We don't want your newsletter to stop people from getting to learn about your services and getting to fill out your contact form. So maybe if I were you and this was what AI told me, I would go back and forth and ask for following questions. That's how I would use it. But the reason for this webinar is I wanted to give you like the basics, like the 6 fundamentals of the homepage, so you have a little bit of an idea of what's supposed to happen. And then when you give the prompts, you ask AI and go back and forth and then come up to a conclusion. Don't just take what they give you. Right? I hope that makes sense. So that was the 6. And then finally, there are a couple questions here on the prompts. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the prompts. Good. Brandy has a question, and I know that someone else had a question too. I want to give you this final wrap up because it's all well and good to give you these prompts, but then like, what do we do? So here is the wrap up prompt. We're going to go back to ChatGPT, post it in, and we're going to ask it to kind of give me a to do now, to do later list. So we can take this and, put it in our to-do list if we want to come back to it later. So we don't feel like we're getting overwhelmed. I use AI to help with the website audit. So useful. Yeah, it is very useful. I like that second set of eyes. So here's the wrap-up prompt. Top 3 opportunities for this site, Denise. Make the offer more immediately specific. I agree. A little bit more specific. We help families, couples, and groups plan Disney, Universal, cruise, and all of those vacations with less stress and more support. Number 2, simplify the navigation around the inquiry form. I agree too. I think navigation is super important. Like move away what you can to make it a little bit more clear. And then 3, strengthen visibility and trust and human connection. It feels warm, but it can use more real people trust us. Now it doesn't see the Google reviews. And so I actually think that you're fine with the trust. Maybe some photos. Maybe we could use some more people photos that could strengthen the human connection. To-do list now, tighten the hero sub-headline. I agree. Make your calls to action consistent and clean up the navigation and add a simple services snapshot. and add a human photo. To do later, work the flow. There is like a flow, and this actually is very similar to what I share. That's like a typical homepage flow. If you want it to be a little bit more conversion focused, if you want to, like this is all if you want to, but I think that the to do now would really help you. See, build testimonial section. Yeah, give or take. Add more founder team personality. Yeah, I'd love to see that too. One thing the homepage is doing well, it has like an emotional foundation. Like that's what we get from this. And we're not trying to make it more cold, like more corporate or cold. Like we want to keep the warmth, but we want to add more clarity, I think is what we're trying to get. So there's your wrap up prompt. And that should help you be able to just copy this if you want, put it in a to-do doc, and it should be able to help you be on your way. So let's see. You have a clear picture of what you need to do. And there are a bunch of questions. I will go over there next. I just want to share with you, I put together a couple of podcast episodes. You can screenshot this too. If you want to dive deeper, I think like all of these kind of build upon what we just did together in the workshop. And I do want to mention, if you do want a second set of eyes on your site, I do website coaching calls. So we go through exactly what you're going to do on this homepage, but then I'll do it for your entire site. And I also go into, we look at your analytics, we can look at your SEO and all of that to kind of give you a comprehensive idea of what's going on. And then I give you a to-do list on what you can do or a VA can do if you want to make your website work a little bit better for you. And that wraps up another episode of Website Design Made Simple. I hope you found the insights shared in this episode valuable and takes you one step closer to creating a website that attracts more of your ideal clients and builds your brand. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a rating on Spotify. Your review will help us reach more small business owners like you who are ready to make more money with their website. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.